This is Beanie Weenie. Beanie Weenie presented this morning for inability to walk. Couldn't use either of his back legs, although he does have deep pain. So he can feel pitching in the toes, but nothing else. So we did a CAT scan. This is Beanie Weenie's CAT scan surface image. It shows that we can dial in the skin, the muscles, the bones, and to look and see how Beanie looks on the inside. We weren't able to see anything from the surface, which is usual, which is not unusual for dogs that have intervertebral disc disease like he does. So we suspect that he's got a problem at the L1, L2 junction, which is showing where the blue line is on this image here. But again, the vertebrae look relatively normal from the outside. Whenever you do a CAT scan, you usually end up with an image that's grayscale. Our CAT scan allows us to filter those different 1,000 or so shades of gray and use color so that we can see additional information. So you can see the aorta, the spinal cord, and a lesion in the spinal cord here that you would not be able to see if we were just looking at the grayscale or black and white image. So whenever we tune our CAT scan, we want to see if there's a problem, but we also want to see what the problem is made of. And so when you look at the black and white image here, you don't see anything. Each of the colors of shades of gray has a number, and the higher the number, the more dense the tissue is. And what I'm doing here is placing a probe that allows me to register those different numbers. And I'm able to find a number as high as 45 or 50 there on that line, which is where I suspect we have a problem. But the numbers are 20 or so in the normal spinal cord. So the blue-green area is what we've assigned to swelling, damage, but not to disc material really. It's just swelling or damage. And whenever we look at it at a black and white and test it, we can see that swelling and damage is 50 or 60 on the shades of gray. And that allows us to see that the other parts of the image, for example, if we were a traditional radiologist looking at this image, you wouldn't see anything. You just see black and white. You wouldn't necessarily see that kind of light blue area in the spinal cord that is really where the problem is. The other thing that we're trying to indicate is whether or not we want to do surgery on this pet, or should we just treat the swelling. And in this case, we don't see any calcified material, we don't see any compressive material, so this pet's just going to receive anti-inflammatory stem cells into this area and into the disc. This video shows Beanie Weenie 3 days after the stem cells. Before the stem cells, she could not move her rear end at all and was unable to do anything but drag around. Now, as you can see, she's able to motivate herself, and she has deep pain perception in both back legs. With physical therapy, she'll come back to normal.